You guys are all still here. Thanks for sticking around. I know that we're a little bit behind. I'll make you one promise. I will not take the full allotted time. I know that I'm the only thing standing in between you guys and drinks, so I'm on it. I'm Blair. I am from Koddi. I've spent my entire career in the marketing agency side, only in the hotel side for the past 3 years. I joined the hotel business at Koddi in January of 2020, so a very fun year, and I have been along for the ride ever since. So today I was going to talk to you about what's in store for hotel search in 2023 and beyond. We're going to take a look at hotel demand in 2022. I know that you guys have looked at a lot of demand trends over the last day and a half, so hopefully I will bring you a new piece of information, and if not, at the very least, just confirm what you've already heard. What's next for search and how we can best prepare. So taking a quick look at 2022, it was an exceptional year for travel demand. Global accommodation queries across the board were up 30%. All categories, airline, cruise, alternative accommodations, hotel specific queries, all up across the board. So what you're looking at here, the blue line is 2022, the dotted teal line is 2021, and you see that gap starting to widen. Zooming in a little bit into the last 4 months, this is looking at October into up until just a couple of weeks ago. Added a couple annotations here around the holiday spikes that we saw just after Thanksgiving. We are very used to seeing an increase in demand. Black Friday, Cyber Monday was super interesting this year. You see the peak there. People are looking for deals, and that is very clear. What is super interesting to me here is Christmas Day. This is Christmas Day going into just up to 112, so up to just a couple of weeks ago. This gap is really starting to widen, which is really positive for what we expect to see in 2023. So looking at some more trends, a trend that we like to look at as kind of a leading indicator for hotel demand is airline demand. So flight demand was up 56% year over year, and actually 15% year over 3 years. So this is technically year over 4 years. This is comparing to pre-pandemic 2019, when flight demand was at an all-time high. We're seeing 15% higher than that. Airline load factor at 85%. So airline demand up, prices up. On the other side, we have RevPAR up. We've seen that trend over the past 12 months, revenue per available room up 130% for economy and mid-scale brands. And what's super interesting is the middle of this. So we're starting to see search behavior shift a little bit. People are really looking for those deals. So budget hotels in city up 300% year over year. Day trips in destination up 70% year over year. Cheapest countries to visit. This is super positive. People are willing to travel and travel internationally, so that is super positive, but everybody's still looking for that deal. Cheap Christmas vacations in November and December was up 526% year over year. One thing that has been super clear is that travelers aren't willing to trade down entirely, which is very positive. So what you're looking at here is less trading down, more trading down versus price sensitivity index. So in the bottom quartile, you'll see vacations and travel, along with commodities like paper towels, which is really positive for us in this room. This really hasn't shifted. I mean, this is from a study from US Supply Chain and Inflation Report that was released in June of last year, but it really hasn't changed. We've seen a couple of reports since then. I really like this view, so thought I would use this. But we do expect consumers to mitigate those higher accommodation prices by maybe reducing the duration of their trips, picking a cheaper accommodation, which we saw in the search query data, and then maybe just traveling nearby. I know that we've talked a lot in the past day and a half about and even in the last session, about all of the frictionless digital experience that starts very clearly at the point of search. This isn't a new trend. Overall demand is increasing. The share of mobile demand is increasing at a higher rate. It has been for the last 7-8 years. The pandemic really accelerated that, and we've seen that growth sustain. So we know that users are searching for hotels on their mobile devices. They're booking on mobile devices at an increasing rate, and then throughout the entire stay. In the session before, the gentleman mentioned the Uber experience, and I related because when I landed in Seattle, I walked about 800 yards past all the taxis to the Uber line and waited for 5 minutes. And it was all because I could do it right there in the convenience of my mobile device. So what's ahead for search? Mobile demand and digital experiences will continue to drive the way. That's not going anywhere. Something that our team is really excited about and starting to play around with is machine learning and AI-based strategies that are starting to give us a competitive edge. We're seeing it in performance data. We're continuing to test into the acceleration here. Search experiences will continue to become more immersive with more visual enhancement. So I'm sure you guys realize every time you go to search engine of choice and search for a hotel, you'll notice an improved experience, more visuals, more call-outs, more price integrations, sliding ad units, et cetera. We expect that to continue. And then forecasting and channel planning tools will continue to get smarter and more dynamic so that we can respond to the changing search environment as quickly as it changes. So how do we prepare for the changing search world? Generative AI tools are totally transforming our world. And I know earlier today I talked a little bit about ChatGPT. Has anybody in here used it? Does anybody in here want to share what they've used it for? Reviews? Okay. Yeah?
Everything from translations to writing business plans, to writing descriptions, property descriptions, multiple languages. So, yeah.
Super cool, property descriptions. This tool is cool, and I was going to try to work it into the presentation. I did go to it over the past couple days, and it is at capacity, so I wasn't able to use it. But we have used it a lot. It was released in November 2022, so we've had a few months to really play around with the tool. I think the way we're looking at tools like this is in an accelerative way. I think we're the steady hand behind the machine that really makes this experience transformative. So I'll share a couple ways that my team at Koddi has been playing around with these tools. Paid search team was building a keyword strategy for a specific hotel. So take the Fairmont, Seattle. We have a spa, we have a restaurant, we have a meeting space that we want to promote. Usually my team would go to the website, scrape the website for appropriate terms, and take probably an hour building out a pretty comprehensive keyword list. We asked ChatGPT, they spit out a hell of a list. It was pretty incredible. There were like 2 erroneous words that we removed, and it saved about an hour. The display team wanted to run a display campaign for a hotel, and they were looking to promote their wedding venue. So we thought we would curate a whitelist and only serve on top wedding websites. Usually that would take weeks, days to build out a really comprehensive whitelist. So instead we went to ChatGPT and said, what are the top several hundred wedding websites along with their URLs, and it spit it right out. We built a really incredible display campaign. Client services. They were trying to respond to a hotel to explain their week-over-week dip in performance. The input that we gave ChatGPT was write an email back to a hotel to explain a week-over-week dip in performance. 2 reasons: price parity and decrease in overall demand. The output was incredible. Explained the reason, the impact that price parity could have on your hotel, the reason it could impact your conversion rates, and why overall you would see a decline in tagged return. And it also explained why decreasing search demand overall could impact your performance. It was really incredible. So it's not perfect. I know there's a lot of, you definitely need a steady hand behind the wheel, but we're starting to play around with these tools to figure out how we can use them really in an accelerative way. I would challenge you all to use it once it's not at capacity. So what can we do to make sure that we have all the right pieces in place? Craft a smart spending plan is the first fundamental step. We need good opportunity analysis. We need real-time search query data and market trends to build robust forecasting tools. Then we need to decide exactly how much money we're going to spend in each channel to maximize yield. Then comes the yield maximization when we want to get the highest revenue output generated by the given budget in each channel, and then a dynamic suggestion. So an algorithm that learns over time, suggests, and makes the changes accordingly. Another thing that we are really starting to play around with is finding the right automation mix to maximize yield. So there's really two different types of automation that my team uses today. There's a lot of really good algorithms out there that make bidding decisions based on your tagged last click return. We can then leverage auction time insights. We work with Google, we work with TripAdvisor, who might have data that we don't have available to us. We have a lot of data, first-party data available to us, and the data about a user who is searching, how far in advance they're searching, what device they're on, how many guests they're staying, how many nights they're booking, and we look at all of that data and say, okay, we want to show up in front of this user. At time of auction, in milliseconds, a Google or a TripAdvisor could say, maybe this user has a higher propensity to book on a mobile device, so we're going to increase our bid. Maybe this user is in close proximity to the hotel looking for same day, and we're going to increase even further. So we're really starting to play around with layering those auction time components into our existing algorithms and bid strategies that are in place. On the other hand, we have objective-based strategies, tools that allow you to make automated bidding decisions based on an objective. So how do we optimize spend across publishers, across channels in real time? Another example I'll give you is, and another key piece of this is having rich data to kind of feed that machine, but this is an example of taking forecasted occupancy. So this is just a file output of a daily date, a hotel ID, a stay date, and a forecasted occupancy for that date. What you'll see on the right is how we adjusted bids based on the occupancy level. So very simple visual, but what you're looking at is the blue bars is the occupancy, the forecasted occupancy for that property, and the line is the bid. So when that property has lower forecasted occupancy, we might want to increase our exposure in order to increase occupancy for this hotel. Now, probably not the most efficient way to run the campaign, but if our goal is to increase occupancy over a given date, then that's what we do. So finding the right balance between all of the algorithms and the automation and the auction time signals that really give us that top line return, that booking on the spot, and where we want to do things like increase occupancy. So that was it. I did it really fast, really, really fast, maybe too fast, but key takeaways, despite all the headwinds, travel is showing really positive signs of a promising year in 2023. Search behavior is dynamic. We need to be prepared to respond in real time. Lean into the advancement of AI tools to accelerate growth, crafting a smart investment strategy, a well-rounded automation mix, and maintaining really good data to feed the machine is key. That is all I have. Thanks, guys.